Hello guys, this is your friend Naruto Audio Fanfics and we are back with a new fanfic. Which is what if Naruto Uzumaki and Kushina Uzumaki prepared for the Nine Tails attack Part 1. And if you enjoy this fanfic then please press the like button and subscribe to my channel for more fanfic like this. And now let's start the fanfic. It had been a tiring battle. Naruto and Orochimaru had battled for 2 days straight with neither getting the upper hand. Now, finally after the 2-day Naruto had managed to strike Orochimaru with an Omega Rasengan in what remained of the Sound Village. After shutting of his bloodline Naruto walked over to the dying body and said, "So it's finally over you Snake Tem. I wish I could have done this sooner so all of the people who have died fighting against you. Do you have any idea how many lives have been ruined by you?" Orochimaru laughed and said, "Yes I do. I still can't believe that my own creation was my downfall." Naruto asked, "What are you talking about?" Orochimaru coughed up some blood and said, "Your pathetic father sealed the creature I tricked into attacking that village and it was all planned. I was the one who wanted Kyuubi to attack your village and all it took was killing her family." Naruto looked at him while taking a step back. Here was the man who ruined his life. Naruto closed his eyes fighting back the memories of what his life was like. While Naruto was remembering, Orochimaru started doing hand size and finished right when Naruto opened his eyes and said, "Well, let's see you fight you inner demon forbidden jutsu, rebirth of chaos." There was a bright red flash and Naruto passed out. Drip. Beep. 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 Drip. Naruto awoke to that noise to a blinding white light. Everything was out of focus and slowly started to come back into focus. When he could finally see, he found himself in what looked like a hospital bed but noticed he was restrained. After looking around the room and not knowing where he was, he looked at his binding and noticed they are the kind that are supposed to suppress chakra. Naruto smiled and though, "I bet they never dealt with demon chakra." Naruto closed his eyes and found himself inside his mind. Naruto and Kyuubi had merged completely after Naruto turned 18. That was 2 years before he fought Orochimaru, but Naruto found a way to keep a little of Kyuubi inside of him and here he was standing in front of the once great nine-tailed fox. Now merely a mental illusion kept with bits of Kyuubi memories. "Hey Fox, you know anything about that jutsu the Snake Tem hit us with?" "No kid, if I was my full self I might have, but since the merger I have lost most of my memories and strength." Naruto sighed and said, "Thanks Fox, I will talk to you later after I find out what's going on." Naruto returned to the normal realm and looked around Aegean and saw nothing different. Naruto decided the best way to get answers was to get out, so he slowly started to channel chakra into his arms and legs and burned the restraints off. Just then a ABNU in a wolf's mask barged in the door with a kunai in hand and noticed the prisoner was free and yelled, "Get help, he's free." He then charged and attacked Naruto, but Naruto flashed behind the ABNU and knocked him out. After he was knocked out, Naruto noticed the clothes the ABNU had on and saw they were Konoha ABNU. Deciding to wait to get answers then start more trouble, Naruto walked over and sat down on the recliner in the corner of the room and looked at the door. A few seconds later 10 more ABNU appeared and looked and noticed one ABNU on the floor and the prisoner sitting in a chair. One pair slowly walked over and checked the down ABNU and after finding he was alive picked him up and carried him outside. Naruto said, "Now I don't know exactly what's going on, but I would like someone to go get the Hokage. I am sure she can straighten this whole mess out without anyone getting hurt." The ABNU looked at him not saying anything until a ABNU in a parrot mask said, "4 of our guards will stay here to make sure you don't escape. I will get the Hokage," before disappearing in a swirl of leaves. A few moments later 2 men walked in. One was a little short and had a pipe in his mouth while the other was tall and had blonde hair, blue eyes and had on a white jacket with red flames along the bottom of it. Naruto looked at both of them with wide eyes and said, "That Snake Tem must have killed me because you two are dead." The short older man laughed and said, "My young man, you sure have a big imagination." Naruto yelled, "Imagination? You died sealing Orochimaru arms off the same way dear old dad there sealed that damn nine-tailed fox in me. I watched your funeral, old man, right before me, and Ero Sanin went and got Tsunade Obaken to be the Godaime Hokage, so tell me what the heck is going on. I just done fight Snaketem and hit him with an Odama Rasengan and he distracted me and used some dang justs called forbidden jutsu, rebirth of chaos, and hit me with it, and next thing I know I am here and I use my chakra to get loose, and Abnu runs in with a kunia and attacks me and I knock him out, then 10 more come in and I ask to see the Hokage, and next thing I know you two dang ghost walk in. What's going on? Everyone in the room looks at him like he was crazy until the Yodime steps forward and says, "Tell me, what's your name, how old are you and when were you born?" Naruto laughs at that and says, "I was born October 10th. XX 95. 11 days after the Kyuubi was first sighted and I am 20 years old, and my name is Naruto Uzumaki. The old man there destroyed all records of what your last name was and changed my name so your enemies would not attack me. Funny thing is by the time I became a genin I done had 2,167 assassination attempts by people of this village according to Ibiki because they see me as the Kyuubi and not a human. Why?" By this time Yodime was looking at the third and the third said, "That's not possible because it is only September 29th, XX 95. Naruto said, "Crap, that means the snake Tem is fixing to kill Kyuubi's family and trick him to attack." Yodime looked at Naruto and said, "If I sealed this Kyuubi in you, do you have any proof?" Naruto said, "Yes, here's the seal, the death god, and you put the Kyuubi into." As he pulled up his shirt and channeled a little chakra and everyone could see, and both the third and Yodime looked on in shock because they recognized the seal as one from the Forbidden Scroll. Yodime looked at Naruto and said, "How big a threat is Kyuubi?" Naruto thought for a moment and said, "Official records said 1267 ninja died and 7,960 civilians died by the time you seal her." Everyone looked pale at that until the third said, "You say you hit Orochimaru with an Odama Rasengan, can you show it to us?" Naruto said, "Yes, but my wind elemental Rasengan is stronger, but here is an Odama Rasengan." And Naruto stuck out his left hand and a ball of chakra started to form and then got bigger as it turned purple. Yodime stepped back and said, "That is my Rasengan. How did you learn it and how long did it take you to learn it?" Naruto laughed and said, "Ero Sanin taught me and I won Tsunade Obakan necklace when because of it. I learned first stage in 10 days, second stage in 5 days and won this necklace when I learned the last stage in 7 days." As he pulled out Tsunade's necklace. Yodime said, "We got no choice but to believe him. I want all ninja recalled and I want all civilians evacuated. I am putting us under martial law until further notice." Naruto, "How strong are you?" Naruto said, "Well, after I was to return from killing Snake Tem and destroying the Sound Village, I was to take over as Rokudaime Hokage. I have 99% of Kyuubi chakra at my disposal along with my own chakra, but my chakra does not recharge as fast as hers. She can recharge me completely in an hour as well as recharge herself. I can make a Rasengan 20 times a minute for 14 days, while I have 1,000 clones training in my bloodline on the whole time without running low on chakra. Does that answer your question?" The Yodime and third both had their jaws on the ground until the Yodime said, "Wait, you got your bloodline, can I see it?" Naruto closed his eyes for a moment and said, "Shirogen," and opened his eyes with 6 circles around the pupil with 3 around the outside. Yodime looked at it and said, "Well, that settles that. He is really related to me, his is even more advanced than mine. Okay everyone but the third and me and Naruto here leave." After everyone left, Naruto said, "No, it's not Kyuubi, just modified mine so I could fight the last 2 Uchiha after the massacre. Mine also has the abilities of the Sharingan since when I attacked Orochimaru he had already switched into a new body." The third asked, "What do you mean new body and what massacre?" Naruto sighed and said, "Orochimaru figured out a way to switch his soul into a new body. He can only do it every 3 years. He want the perfect body to learn every jutsu. Uchiha Itachi when I was 6 killed the entire Uchiha clan with his brother Sasuke Tem and him being the last 2. Itachi got the final level of the Sharingan after he killed his best friend. Sasuke tried doing the same thing with me but Kyuubi's healing factor saved me from 2 Chidoris to the chest. Sadly our other teammate did not have the same chance 4 years later." Yodime yelled, "Wait a minute, how did Sasuke learn Chidori?" Naruto said, "Kakashi Sensei taught him it during the month between the second and third part of our first Chunin exams after he pawned me off on Ebus who was later knocked out by Ero Sanin who taught me to summon by throwing me off a cliff." Yodime walked over to a wall and punched it. After taking a few calming breaths Naruto said, "I got 2 questions if you don't mind me knowing." Yodime looked at him and shook his head yes. Then Naruto said, because of all the crap I had to deal with because of the fox. I only found out you were my dad because Ero Sanin told me on his deathbed right before I fought Snake Tem. Nobody told me anything about my parents and I was put in the orphanage. If you don't mind, could I please know yours and mom's real name?" The third looked at the Yodaime and said, "Naruto, why don't you tell us a little about your life first?" Naruto sighed and looked at the floor and said, "Well, I told you how I was born and the fox was sealed a few hours later into me and dad died. When you told the town they rioted and wanted me put to death, you passed a law saying no one was allowed to speak about how I contained the fox. I lived in the orphanage until I was 4. About that time Cloud signs a peace treaty and the same week tries and kidnaps Hinata Hyuga and the kidnapper gets killed and Cloud demands Hiyash head. His twin brother sacrifices himself instead and their family gets screwed up after that. Then I was given my own apartment after a lot of assassination attempts and beating. The only people who looked after me was you old man and the owner and his daughter of Ichiraku. A few ABNU saved me a few times but I never knew who. Whenever I tried to go into stores or play with children, the adults either threatened me, attack me, or told the kids to stay away from me because I was dangerous. I failed the academy 3 times because a teacher took my books the first day and burned them and I tried to get new ones but I was told they can't fireproof them from me. I also had lousy chakra control because no one would teach me any exercises, also give me questions Chunin have trouble answering. The fox also screwed it up because I had absorbed her chakra also. After my third failed attempt, a teacher named Mizuki says he knows a secret way for me to pass. He tells me to sneak into the Hokage office and steal the forbidden scroll and learn one jutsu off of it. I did that night and knocked out the old man with my own jutsu. The third interrupts and asks, "How did you knock me out?" Naruto stands up and does a few seals and says, "Sexy no jutsu." After that, a blonde woman in her late teens is standing there. Both Hokage fly backwards from bloodlows. Naruto gets on his knees crying saying, "No, no, no, my own dad is a pervert." After waking both of them up, Naruto says, "Anyways, I stole the scroll and learned Kujbunshin in a few hours." Iruka confronts me and after I tell him what Mizuki said, Mizuki attack Iruka. He then tells me about Kyuubi and tries to kill me. Iruka saves me and then I created 1000 Kujbunshins and beat him severely. Iruka then gives me his forehead protector and after getting everything straightened out I was put on a team with Uchiha Sasuke, Sakura, and our sensei was Kakashi. We were the first team to ever pass his test. That reminds me, I still owe him for that 1000 years of death jutsu during the test. Yodaime yells, "What? I think I should kill him right now." Naruto sighs and says, "I admit he may not be the best teacher, always 3 hours late, and all, but he did save my life from those dang demon hunters Akatsuki. They nearly got to destroy the world but we got lucky. Anyways, we saved Wave Country, had a huge bridge named after me, fought the vessel for Shukaku in demon form, Sasuke got Curse Seal, Leaf, Sand, Sound War. Fought Snake Tem several times, brought back Tsunade, kicked the Hyuga Prodige's butt, created 2 upgrades on Rasengan, trained 3 years with Ero Sanin, absorbed Kyuubi, created a seal to keep a part of Kyuubi in me for company, watched all my friends die, named Tsunade successor, destroyed Sound Village, and beat Snaketem but did not get to see him die since he distracted me by bragging about how he tricked Kyuubi into attacking and getting her sealed in me. The council tried everything they could to get rid of me. Root tried to take over and assassinate Tsunade. Council completely replaced. I had a few other high points but a lot more low and that is basically it. All in all I say it was crap. Yodaime rubbed his nose and the third smoked his pipe, both of them looking at the floor. Yodaime said, "Well, my name is Arashi Kazama and your mother is someone you would have to meet to understand. She is a little strange and her marriage is a secret, only 3 people know of it. Her, me, and the third here. If you want to go to my office with the third here I will get her and have her meet us later." Naruto said, "Okay," and the third and him went to the Hokage Tower. About 30 minutes later Arashi arrived and said, "She will be here shortly but I need to give some orders. If you want, sit in a chair over there, I will take care of few thing. Also if you see anyone you know from the future that you were friends with, let me know and I will explain to them about you, okay?" Naruto sat down and after a few minutes Naruto noticed some people who came in as a group and said, "Hello Jia, Kakashi, Asuma, Karina, Enko, Hiyash." They all looked at him and Arashi looked at him and said, "You know all of these people from your then?" Naruto said, "Yeah." Arashi said, "Okay, I know this is going to be weird for a few minutes, but since you are all I was waiting on, I go and tell you what is going on and save questions till the end. Orochimaru has went and done something we are all fixing to have to deal with. He has gone and attacked and killed the family of the nine-tailed fox Kyuubi and tricked her into thinking it was her fault. She is on our way here now. This young man over here is from about 20 years in the future. I know that sounds crazy, but he has already showed the third and myself proof. Anyways, he landed a fatal blow on Orochimaru but was hit by a forbidden jutsu that sent him back here to right before he was born. In his timeline, the only way we defeated the Kyuubi was by sealing the Kyuubi with a forbidden jutsu that I cast and cost me my life and trapped her in this young man. Over time he absorbed all of Kyuubi's chakra and effectively killed it. No, I want him to come over and tell each of you a little about the future since you all survived this attack so you can prepare. I want him only to tell you his first name for no, because I don't want to change this history if our plans don't work." Naruto walked over and said, "Well, my name is Naruto. I know Kakashi because he was my Junin sensei. He's a pervert and is 3 hours late for everything because he likes to look at the memorial stone. Sharingan I given by best friend. Loves some girl named Rin. Teaches Sasuke Temchidori before he betrays Konoha for Snake Tem. By the way, those hurt. Hit me with 1000 years of death during Genin test. Favorite summon is you little pub dog. Known as Copy Nin Kakashi or Sharingan Kakashi. Knows over 1000 jutsu. Has final level of Sharingan because you blame yourself for your friend's death. His rival is Jia, Taijutsu specialist. Turns one of his students that can't use chakra into a carbon copy of him and yells all the time about the springtime of youth. Karina, Genjutsu mistress, also known as the Ice Queen of Konoha because you won't date any man after a first date because they all act like perverts. Asuma, Chainsmoker, son of the third, uncle to Konohamaru, Fire Temple sage, wind user, brilliant but laid back. Hiyoshi, twin brother Hiace, two daughter, Hinata and Hanabi. Wife dies during second childbirth. Hinata nearly kidnapped by Cloud between 3 and 4 years old. You kill kidnapper. Cloud demands your head for payment. Your brother sacrifices his life in your place. His son Neji grows up to be prodigy of the Hyuga even though he hates main branch and has a stick up his butt after his dad dies. You turn cold and your council makes you crush Hinata's spirit and you blame her because she looks like her mother. After I beat Neji, you confess the truth of his dad's death. Start treating Hinata a little better after she creates 3 new forms of the gentle fist. Your Kusal assassinates you, and Hanabi after they trick you into putting cage bird seal on Hinata and banishing her. Anko, special Junin, former student of Snakeatem, second proctor of my first Chunin exam, works with Ibiki in intelligence, has a curse seal that I later remove, likes to lick blood for intimidation tactics, got wounded during Kyuubi attack in coma for 1 year, treated me like brother sister after I started to prepare to kill Snakeatem. That's all I can think of right now. Arashi says, well, that's all for the introductions now. Sometime between now and the 10 Kyuubi will attack. I have already ordered all civilians to leave. I want everyone here to meet at my training grounds in 1 hour. I am going to have Naruto give us a taste of what to expect. Anko, I need you to stay behind for a moment. Naruto said he remove your curse seal once I want him to remove it, okay? Anko nodded and Naruto walked over to her and went through about 30 seals before saying, Demon Seal Breaker. Curse Seal Jutsu, and he slammed his hand onto the curse seal on Anko's shoulder. She screamed for a moment before falling to her knees. After a few minutes she stood up and the curse seal was gone. Naruto walked back over to his chair and said, well, do you want me to wait here to meet that person or meet later D Yodime? Arashi looks at Naruto and said, well, the funny thing is she is here right now. Naruto looked around the room a few times before saying, but the only people in the room right now are you, me, and, Naruto stops for a moment before saying, you mean to tell me that she is your wife and? Arashi said, yes, she is my wife and apparently your mother Naruto. Naruto falls out of his chair onto the floor and looks at the roof for a few moments before saying, why? Anko looks at Arashi and asks, what's exactly going on here, dear? I want the truth or I can promise you pain. Arashi takes a few steps back with his hands in front of him before saying, okay, wait. Naruto here is our son from the future. I died sealing Kyuubi into him. He grew up hated and abuse. For some reason he never knew we were his parents. He only found out I was his dad 20 years from now right before my sensei died. He never knew you were his mom. His name was changed to Naruto Uzumaki. Please don't kill me. Anko stopped in her tracks and turned to Naruto and said, Arashi, you have better pray that I don't get any more madder than I am right now or you will be sleeping on the couch tonight. You may be my boss here, but at home I am in charge. She then walked over to Naruto and sat on her knees before wrapping him up in a hug and saying, I am sorry my future self did not tell you I was your mother. I am sure there was a reason but I can't tell you what it is now. Naruto nodded and said, I never was one who liked to be pitied or anything, and even when people told me my parents had abandoned me or some crap like that I never believed it. I know you had a hard life because of the snake tem and I hope I can make it better for you mom. He then stood up and said, well I think we should head to the training ground and start getting ready. We have a big fight ahead of us. After it's over dad I want permission to hunt that snake tem down and finish what I started. Oh by the way can you summon one of the toads? I need to ask a question. Arashi summoned Gamataki and Naruto walked over to the toad and said, I got a question. If you have a summon contract but it is from the future, does it still work when you try to summon it? Gamataki looked at Naruto and said, how the heck did you get sent back Naruto? Pops has been looking for you ever since you and him beat Manda and the snake tem. Yeah it still works, I will just have to tell dad and all. Naruto nodded and said, thanks for the info. After everything is said and done I will call your dad and you for some drinks, okay? The toad nodded and left as a puff of smoke. Arashi, Anko and Naruto all left for the training grounds. When they got there every ninja that was at the meeting was there and Naruto walked into the middle of the training grounds and said, this is a sample of what we are about to face. He then put his hand in a ram seal and his chakra flared 200 feet into the air and Naruto started emitting killer intent. All of the ninja including the two Hokages were frozen in fear. Naruto stopped and said, that is about 1/4 what we will be facing. Get ready. All the ninja after calming down are left to either get ready or change their clothes. Naruto went and sat down beside a tree and rested a moment. Arashi and Anko walked over to him and said, well you sure know how to motivate people. Anko laughed and said, yeah, can't wait to see what you got planned for our fight kid. Arashi said, Naruto, why don't you go and stay with us until we find you a place? The Kazama estate is big enough for you to stay if you want to. Naruto agreed and all three stayed the night at the Kazama estates that night. The next few days flew by getting ready to fight the Kyuubi. Word had done confirmed the Kyuubi was sighted heading toward Konoha. All civilians had been evacuated to different villages away from Konoha. Arashi and Naruto sparred and traded jutsu. Most civilians had ignored the evacuation orders and decided to stay even after being threatened. Anko was put on bed rest the last week because of the pregnancy. Time skipped 2 days before Kyuubi attack. Naruto and Arashi were standing by the bed that had Anko in it. Anko had called them to her for something important. Anko looked at both of them and said, I know that with everything that is about to happen things might still turn out bad, so I just wanted to say I love you both and I wanted to give you both a gift. Anko pulled out a box that had 3 pendants in them. Each one had the Kazama family crest on it along with the initials ANA. Anko said, I had these made shortly after I found out I was pregnant and I want you each to take one so we always have a part of the others with us. After all 3 put them on and all 3 spent the rest of the day talking about how Anko and Arashi got together, Naruto failing the Bunshin test 3 years in a row, plans for the future and trying to enjoy some of the best parts of being a family. The evening came quickly and everyone decided to head to bed early. Around 1 a.m. Arashi was summoned to the Hokage office with important information on the Kyuubi current location and casualties. Naruto was sleeping soundly when he heard a woman scream and felt a chakra spike coming from the direction of his parents' rooms. He quickly grabbed a kunai and ran to the source of the chakra spike. When Naruto arrived he saw something that brought his blood boiling with rage. There standing over his mother was a younger version of Orochimaru. Naruto was about to charge when the snake grabbed Anko and held a kunai to her neck. He then smirked and said, now who do we have here? I wonder, was it you who removed my lovely curse seal from my little pet here? It is no matter because I have already replaced it on her. I think no, I have decided to kill her anyways. She was after all a simple test. He then stabs Anko in the chest and charges Naruto. Naruto was frozen in place for a moment after seeing his mother fall and receives a punch to the face, sending him into a wall. Naruto stands up and charges Orochimaru in a fit of blind rage. He tries to hit the snake, but his moves are sloppy and revives a cut from a black kunai Orochimaru pulled out. Naruto still attack blindly with kicks, punches and even an occasional headbutt, but only receives more cuts from his enemy. After a few minutes he starts noticing his vision is blurring and he starts hurting all over. He finally collapses to one knee. Orochimaru smiles and said, "I see my little poison is working greatly. You will die within a few days. That poison turns your own chakra against you and destroys your body from within. Well, I sense your pathetic Hokage on his way here, so I must be off." And with that he disappeared. Naruto collapses after that. When Naruto woke up he found himself in the hospital again, hurting all over. After he looks around the room he sees his mother in a bed on the other side of the room. He looks around the rest of the room and sees his dad Arashi sitting in the corner of the room holding a little baby asleep in his arms. Naruto smiles and Arashi notices he's awake. Arashi said, "I don't know what happened, but you and your mother were both wounded when I got home. I rushes you both to the hospital and your mother was in a coma. They wound up having to deliver you by C-section. They don't know what happened to you, but they think it's chakra poison and they don't know how to stop it." Naruto sighs and said, "Orochimaru attacked her and I let my rage get the better of me and he was able to poison me with some kind of black kunai. How long was I out?" Arashi sighed and said, "Kyuubi will be here in a couple of hours. Do you think you can help us stop her? If not, we will have to do the sealing again." Naruto thought for several moments and said, "Can you get everyone who knows about me from the future and bring them here as fast as possible?" Arashi nodded, and after going to the door and had the same ABNU that originally guarded Naruto go and fetch everyone, he went back to the recliner he was in and the chibi Naruto in his arms started to stir, so he rocked him back to sleep. About 20 minutes later, Guy, Kakashi, Asuma, Kurinai, the third, Hiyashi, and the 10 ABNU that was guarding him originally was in the room with Arashi, baby Naruto, and Anko, who was still in a coma. Naruto sighed and said, "Well, Orochimaru snuck into the village and attacked Anko and myself. He felt when I removed her curse seal and came to investigate. He put the seal back on her and wounded her and she is currently in a coma. I was unprepared to face him and he wound up using a new chakra poison on me. I will be dead in a few days." Everyone in the room paled at that. Naruto said, "I want you all to know that I have a plan to still change the future. I don't like it, but it is the only way I can see to save my precious people. All of you know that I am from the future and you all heard how Arashi was my dad. I know who mom is, but she has to be protected, so I won't tell you, but I want you all to know the baby over there is me." Everyone looked at the baby in Arashi's arms and felt mixed feeling of joy and sorrow. Naruto then said, "I am going to change the future, but all of you will have to play along with a lie until my graduating class Chunin exam. I want you all to act like I was not Arashi's son until then, unless it was in private at the Hokage's office. I want Dad Thier to disappear until then, preferably into ABNU or something where he can still be with mom and help keep an eye on my young self. He will be listed as dead from sealing Kyuubi into me." Several people started to argue at this point, but Naruto said, "The me from the future is dead already. I will use a henge and do the sealing myself. I also know a jutsu like the Yamankos that will allow me to transfer my memories into the baby me. I hate to say it, but certain things will have to still happen so I can fix most of the mistakes, however I might be able to change them a little." Arashi finally had enough and said, "Naruto, what are you talking about?" Several others had the same thought running through their head. Naruto said, "I know the Uchiha massacre still will happen, but I might be able to save some of them, but not that many. The cloud incident I can change and save Hiyashi brother. I will secretly get my parents back. I can stop the third's death along with help get rid of a few traitors. Basically it's a win-win situation. I can even give the Hokages a secret hint on how to beat their worst enemy, paperwork, faster." Instantly Arashi, the third and Hiyashi all perked up, and this and all three said at the same time, "How?" Naruto smirked and said, "Do any of you know the secret of Kajbunshin?" All three were confused and Arashi said, "Yeah, Whatever a Kajbunshin see the user learns after it dispels, that's why it is mainly used for scouting. Why? Naruto smiled a foxy grin and said, I use them all the time as my primary jutsu. What would happen if it read a report and signed it and dispelled itself? All three leaders smacked their foreheads as big anime sweat drops appeared on everyone else's heads. Kakashi said, what about your young self, what happens there? Everyone agreed with that, and Naruto said sadly, since so many civilians have decided to stay and it will take time to perform the sealing, a lot of people will still die. I will still be a target for the hatred, so I will have to stay in an orphanage until I get kicked out and live on my own. However, I will be training secretly. I know most of you or all of you want like this, but it is the only way. If not, the villagers may revolt against the Hokage. Even with the law stating no one from the older group can tell the children, their hate will still pass on to most of the kids. Your clan council may try and remove you early. Hiyash, Dad's enemies will target me while I can't defend myself if we don't change my name to Uzumaki. Danzo may try to seize power early, and any number of other things that can go wrong. I can get Kyuubi to help train me and give me more chakra. If not, my history will change so much it will be unchangeable, and I doubt I will be able to get Snake Attempt to send me back again. I guess that's all I can say. Do you all agree? If so, then we can work from several different ways to make sure we can save our village and its people. Everyone was quiet for a moment until the third said, I think it is probably our best bet. The Abnu here can help keep an eye on you with Arashi. Hiyash can help keep an eye on his clan as well as the council by making it look like he is against you. Guy can secretly train you in Taijutsu, Kakashi in ninjutsu, Kurenai in genjutsu, Asuma in strategy. We can use training area 44 for training, but it will be secretly and hidden. Arashi and Anko, if she ever gets out of her coma, can help in specialty. Everyone agreed to that. Arashi sighed and said, I hate to say it, but I don't see any way around it. I can only pray that this is all worth it, but when the time comes, I think we should all take out the snake freak for all the death and pain he is causing and going to cause. After everyone stood there in silence for a few minutes, Naruto said, I guess that's everything. It will take me 4 hours to draw all of the seals with Dad's help and learn the seals to the jutsu from the Forbidden Scroll, so I wish you all luck. I can already sense Kyuubi's chakra, so she should be here in a couple of hours, so we have to hold her off. Good luck all my friends, and please look out for your friends and family since I won't see you again in these times. Everyone in the room looked at Naruto and bowed before leaving. Arashi looked at Naruto and then over to Anko. He then got up and kissed his wife before helping Naruto get ready to leave. After giving Naruto a chance to kiss his mom, Naruto said, please explain it to her for me, Dad, and tell her I love her but won't be able to say it very often. Arashi, Chibi Naruto, and Naruto transported to the Hokage library room in the Hokage Tower. Fast forward 4 hours. The ninja of the hidden village of the Leaf had been fighting the demon Kyuubi for over 2 hours now. Casualties have been piling up for a while now, both ninja and civilians. Voices screaming in agony and giving orders. We must hold out for the Hokage. Help me. You killed my brother, you monster. Die, you demon. Run for your lives. Hold it off a little longer. The screams echoed on the battlefield. Suddenly the Hokage Arashi Kazama appeared on the battlefield. Many of the ninja rallied at the sight of their leader come to help them. An Abnu with a fox mask that was standing beside him on the frog boss jumped down and said in a high-pitched voice, we have to distract the demon so the Hokage can stop him. And with that, many started doing different hand seals to distract the demon. After what seemed like forever, the demon died and his body disappeared. Almost all the ninja cheered until the frog boss disappeared and the Hokage started to fall to the ground. Right before he hit the ground, he was caught by an Abnu in a fox mask. As soon as they landed, they disappeared. The Hokage Tower. The next day. The reports coming in was bad, but not as bad as what was from the original timeline according to Naruto. The third had been officially reinstated as Hokage before Arashi went to seal the Kyuubi. Now the third was looking at the Abnu with a screaming baby in his arms. The third said, so Fox, are you ready for the announcement? Fox said, I suppose so. I don't like the feeling of burying your son before you do, but he did give me a chance to be with him in a way. Have you prepared your speech? The third said, Hia, my old friend, let me get this over with. The third walked up to the roof to address the villagers and ninja that had gathered. After clearing his voice, he said, My fellow villagers. I wish to inform you the Yondiame Hokage has left us now. He gave his life to end the threat that was the Kyuubi. I know that he is watching over us now and that he wishes us the best of luck. He told me before he went to battle to please look out for all his precious people and good luck all my friends and please look out for your friends and family since I won't see you again in these times. I know he knew in his heart what it was to be Hokage, so I wish for all of you to spread the word and help you fellow villagers. Cheers went up through the crowd. A 3-year-old child was walking down the street. People giving him hateful glares and shunning him. He smiled at everyone as he walked by them. He had just been moved into his own apartment after the owner of the orphanage claimed the child had started a fire in his room. Everyone knowed it was a lie but could not do anything about it because the room had been destroyed by an exploding tag. The child was okay for the first 9 months of his life until the seal on his stomach was discovered by a nurse at the hospital while running a checkup on him. After the chakra scan hit the seal, it became visible. After that, the gossip mill picked up on it, and within 3 hours most of the village had heard about it. Once the council heard about it, they had the child brought to them, and after having several people who had seal experience check it and prepared to remove the seal, the Hokage had to tell them what the child was and had sealed in him, including the story of how he promised the Yodime to protect the child. Of course some demanded to kill him, but after telling them that the demon could be released, they wanted to have him banished. After fighting for hours, the third passed his law to stop from telling about it, but you know how that went. Now we see Naruto passing the local dango shop that is just down from Ichiraku ramen stand. As Naruto was walking by the dango stand, he glances inside and winks at the people inside. Now most people would not notice something like that, but the 6 people inside the stand did. We find Kurinai, Asuma, Guy, Anko who looked ready to cry, Kakashi, and a tall man with brown hair and a face mask like Kakashi. The man said, Anko, I know how hard it is to do this. It hurts me just as much as it does you, but we have to do this his way. He was right about what would happen, and if we would be even harder than if people knew to look for us. Anko looked at him and said, I know Kaza, I know, it just hard to see him suffer from all of these idiots. Quote, Kakashi said, so when do we start training? I know now that he has his own place it will be easy for him. Just then they heard people screaming and see a boy with blonde hair running past the stand with 10 men running after him. One man screams, I will show you, monster. We can't stand to see you walking around this village with a smile on your face any longer. When everyone looking at the men that disappeared down the road looked back at the table at the dango stand, they would find empty chairs. Flashback. Naruto was only about 60 feet from his favorite ramen stand when a group of men started circling around him. Naruto sensing the killer intent, so he did the only smart thing. He ran through the legs of a man who was laughing and took off down the road trying to lose the mob. Flashback end. Naruto was currently running down the street and cut down an alley. Naruto ran to the end of the alleyway and jumped through a hole in the wall that he remembered using to escape in his other life. Once he made it to the other side, he stopped for a moment to catch his breath. When he looked up the wall, he sees a man climbing over it, so he takes off running again. As he makes it to the end of the alleyway, he sees he was near the park where kids his age usually hung out with their parents. Naruto takes off toward the park to loose the man. Once Naruto made it to the park, he ran under the slide, down the walkway over a small bridge and into a thicket of trees before hiding in a bunch of tall bushes. The man chasing after him lost him by the time he made it over the bridge but kept running looking for the Naruto. Naruto sighed after the man ran past and took a moment to catch his breath again. He was thinking, man, I am going to start training heavy starting today. That exhausted me. Naruto, after taking a moment to figure out where he was, decided to head to Team 7 training grounds since it was not that far from his location. After Naruto made it there, it sat down against the 3 logs he remembered being tied to. Naruto suddenly tensed as he saw the man he lost earlier walking toward him. Naruto got to his feet and looked around trying to find a way to escape. The man said, now demon, you thought you could lose me. Now I am going to do what should have been done the day you were born. As he pulled out a knife. That was mistake number 3. 1 was threatening Naruto, 2 was calling him a demon, and finally 3 was pulling a weapon on him, especially when he has friends. The next thing the man knew, he found himself tied by snakes, then he felt a kunai to his neck. A voice behind him said, I suggest you drop the knife or my friend here might have her snakes bite off what makes you a man. The man paled and let the knife fall out of his hand. Unfortunately, gravity was not on his side today as the knife point went right through his shoe and into his foot. The man started to scream and finally a chop to his neck put him to sleep. After he was out, Naruto finally released the breath of air he was holding and fell to his knees and said, That's it. It's time I started training. I used up most of my stamina outrunning those idiots. The next thing Naruto knew, he was being hugged by a pair of soft arms. Naruto relaxed into them as he knew who they belonged to. He sighed and said, Thanks, Mom. Just then Kakashi showed up and said, Well, we got the ones you lost in the Ally and they are in Ibiki's office. No, I will take this one and let you guys have some time alone. And then he left with the man over his shoulder. The man who knocked the civilian out walked over to them and knelt in front of Naruto before saying, Well, I was impressed with your speed back there, son. You did good, son. I love you. Naruto smiled a true smile and said, I love you too, Dad. Thanks for saving me. Anko cried a little and said, That's what we are for, son. You don't have to carry this burden alone, you know. Naruto smiled and said, I wish we could keep this up forever, but this little incident showed me that I need to start training. I only have a few months to get better to keep my promise to Hiyoshi. I never go back on my word. That's my Nindo. Anko let go of Naruto and looked at Kaza and said, I agree. It's time to start his training. He put his faith in us. Now it's time to put our faith in him. Kaza smiled and said, Believe it. I will meet you both at the tower in Area 44. And with that he disappeared. Anko put her hand on Naruto and disappeared in a swirl of leaves to only reappear in Training Ground 44 outside the tower. Naruto looked around and said, This brings back memories. So what do we start on? Anko smiled one of her crazy smiles and said, As soon as your father gets here we will see. After about 10 minutes, Kaza arrived with a backpack. Kaza looked at them and said, I got some chakra weights here for you. These are special. I made the seal on them and what they do is absorb 10% of your chakra into it and they get heavier based on how much chakra you have. To turn them off, just form the seals to cancel a genjutsu and say release. I want to put them on and run around the tower 5 times. Then I want you to punch and kick a tree with each arm or leg 25 times. I assume you know tree climbing. After receiving a nod. So I want you to practice that until you pass out. Start as soon as you feel the weights kick in. And so Naruto began. It took him 2 hours to run around the tower because of the extra weight, 40 minutes to do the punches and kicks, and he was only able to try tree climbing for 30 minutes before he passed out. When Naruto woke up, he found himself in a very familiar place. The sewer of his mind. He started walking down a long passage until he got to his destination. The cage of Kyuubi. When he walked closer to the cage, a voice said, Foolish mortal, how dare you show yourself to the great Kyuubi? I shall. Naruto interrupted her and said, Q-chan, can it? I met you before so I know what you are going to say. I know why you attacked and we have a common enemy. Now why don't you shift into your human form and we can talk face to face? Kyuubi was stunned for a moment because she had never seen a human to stand up to her. Deciding to humor this boy, she switched to her human form. A beautiful woman with red hair going down her back and red eyes with black slits in the middle of it. In words to describe was beautiful. Naruto smiled and sat down and said, Now, let me tell you a story. There once was a kind and lovely creature that had a family that was very close to each other. The creature was accepted into the family at a young age after her own parents had been killed. Time passed. A pale-skinned man that smelled of snakes came while the creature was out hunting and killed her family. When she returned, she saw the man and saw his forehead protector. The man turned into mud and disappeared. The creature became enraged and went to where the symbol told her the man came from. She attacked the village and wound up being sealed into an infant by his own father to stop the creature. The child grew up alone and hated with constant abuse and neglect. He only had a select few that would protect him because the people feared the child was actually the creature that attacked. The boy finally grew up and learned of the creature inside of him. At first they hated and despised each other. Over time they began to become friends. The seal that was put on the child slowly absorbed the creature over time, but the boy put a second seal on to save some of his friend's spirit. The boy fought the pale-skinned man many times in his life along with others that wanted to harm his precious people. The day the boy had the pale-skinned man on death's door, the evil man sent him back in time to be killed by the same creature he befriended. The boy met his parents and due to some extreme conditions had taken the place of his father to seal his friend into his baby form. The boy put his future memories into his baby self to aid him against his enemy. The boy set plans to protect those that was close to him originally and had his parents alive, but secretly to the rest of the world they are dead until the time is right. And now we find that boy that was the baby standing in front of his one-time friend to try and work together to defeat their common enemy. Kyuubi was stunned throughout the tale because she could sense that he was telling the truth, so she finally asked, "What do you want me to do? What is your name, my friend?" Naruto smiled and said, "Naruto Uzumaki Kazama, but I only go by Naruto Uzumaki for now. I want you to start mixing your chakra into mine at a faster rate so I can get stronger quicker. I want you to keep me company and I will change the seals on your cage so you can see and feel what I do, and I will also put the other seal on me to make it where your spirit will not be absorbed. Also, I want the fox contract. I signed it before in my other self, but I want to show respect to you and your kind to be able to summon your kind. I also want my senses enhanced and my bloodline activated, but I need it modified for myself and my children if I ever have any. I need it to be like the Sharingan of the Uchiha family. I know that you gave it to their ancestors who saved a member of your family in the past. I don't want the final form of it to be caused by killing your best friend though. Also let me change this area for you. Do you accept, Q-chan?" Kyuubi thought for a moment and said, "Yes, that is possible. I will make it where you will have to get the final level of that bloodline by the desire to protect you precious person or persons. You will still have to go through getting the levels of it like your bloodline, but they will work together. I have already activated level 1 of both, now go. When you wake up it will be ready for use." And with that Naruto disappeared and the sewer changed into a forest with a stream running through it with birds chirping in the background. Kyuubi sighed and started the changes Naruto asked for before relaxing and going to sleep. Naruto woke up early the next day. He found himself in his bed at his apartment. Naruto sighed and went to get ready for the day. He found a note that said, "Kid, we brought you back after you passed out. Rest for today if you need to. Food in fridge for you to eat, just heat it in microwave. Drop off some new cloths. Check on you later. M has a mission out of town for a couple of weeks. Take care of yourself. D." Naruto smiled and pulled up a floorboard under his bed and hid his letter. After eating he went and started drawing the new seal he promised Kyuubi with blood. After he was done he channeled a little chakra into it and felt a lot of pain as it burned into his body. He then took a shower and changed into some black ninja-styled pants with shuriken and kunai holster built in, and black shirt that was left for him. It had a spiral on the back, but on the inside it had the small Kazama clan symbol on it. He also got the kunai he found with his clothes and hid it in his pants pockets. Someone also included a half face mask for him, so he put it on. He also put the weights back on. Someone had changed him into night cloths and removed them. Naruto left and headed toward Team 7 training ground. It took him about a half hour to get there. He started running around the clearing 10 laps. He then started to punch and kick the logs until each arm or leg got tired. After taking a 20-minute break he started the tree climbing and found it harder than yesterday because he could already feel Kyuubi's chakra adding to his. Naruto made it about 1/4 of the way up the tree before he started getting hungry, so he took a for Ichiraku. After eating 3 bowls of ramen for Naruto, which he ate at a halfway normal pace, he started back to the training ground to continue training. On his way back he remembered on his last birthday what happened. Flashback. Naruto was with the 3rd Hokage at the ramen stand. The 3rd looked at Naruto and then at the roof across from the stand. He then said in a soft voice, "Naruto, what do you think of the owner and his daughter here at this stand?" Naruto said in a whisper, "I always loved this stand. They always are nice to me and even gave me free food before and even turned customers away when they said mean things to me." The 3rd smiled and said, "Do you think they can know about your parents?" Naruto nodded yes, and the 3rd disappeared for a few moments before returning with 2 people. The owner Ichiraku, seeing 2 more customers, walk over to get their order. Once he got their order and since no one else was at the stand, the 3rd called him over and said, "I am very proud of you, sir. I wish to tell you something that is the biggest secret of this village. Old man Ichiraku was floored and asked, "Why do you believe that I am worthy of such a secret?" The man who just joined when the third came back said, "Because from when my son first came from you were one of the few that ever treated him nice all through his life since I was dead and his mother thought he was dead we were not able to look after him." Now Ichiraku was confused and Naruto said, "You see old man the me from the future was sent back accidentally to before Kyuubi's attack and through a strange turn of events my older self took the place of dad to seal her into me at the cost of his life so that this time around we can change the events to come. The lady over here is my mom but because of the enemy we plan to stop or hinder we have to follow the original timeline closely. I am the child that was born that day but my older self gave me his memories so I remember what you did for me." Ichiraku said, "Well, I recognize the woman here as Anko but I don't recognize your father." The third said, "Well, if he did not have a disguise on right now you would easily recognize him. He is the man on the mountain after me." It took Ichiraku just a moment to realize what he meant and started to bow to him only to be stopped by the brown hair man who said, "I don't have that name right now. If you want to call me something I go by Kaza. I would like for you to do something for me. If Naruto comes in to eat he can have 3 bowls a meal of ramen and just send the bill to the Hokage office and I will repay you for his meals once a week unless I am out of town and I can ask my old friend here to take care of it. If you ever need anything for damage or loss of business just let me, my wife here or the third and I will help you out for devoted service you already gave my son Naruto but you can't tell anyone about this. Less than 20 people know the whole truth." Ichiraku said, "I understand and I will never turn away your business Naruto." Anko said, "Now Naruto I am sorry we can't give you a birthday present right now but you will get it later after you get your own place. Now let's enjoy a meal together as a family." Flashback end. Naruto smiled at the memory as he finally made it to the training ground 7. When he got there he was surprised to see Kakashi there. He walked over and said, "Remembering Obito." Kakashi having already felt Naruto said, "Yeah, what about you, what you doing here?" Naruto said, "I already got Q to activate my bloodline and alter it Aegean for me. I am working on stamina and chakra control right now. I can finally get good training since I don't have the orphanage owner keeping an eye on me to kill me. At least it is better this time around." Kakashi nodded and said, "What exactly does your bloodline do anyways? I don't remember Sensei ever telling what his originally did." Naruto smiled and said, "Basically it's a speed supporter. It's what helped dad get his nickname. The higher the level the faster your body can go without putting too much strain on it. Then the new changes makes it the same as your covered eye except the requirement to get the last level is different. Instead of killing your best friend, you have to have a strong desire to protect those that are precious to you." Kakashi smiled and said, "I think that makes yours better than." Naruto just nodded and said, "Well I guess I will get back to tree climbing, sprints and katas." And with that he started to repeat his earlier workout regimen. Flash forward 3 months. It was currently about 10 o'clock at night. Naruto was currently sitting in a tree near the Hyuga compound. He had been there for a few hours now since the parade for the Cloud Ninja that came to sign the peace treaty. Naruto remember Neji's story of how Hinata was kidnapped so here he was watching the compound. Naruto suddenly felt a chakra source moving through the woods heading toward the compound. He got ready to move when he saw the figure start sneaking toward the walls to go into the compound. Naruto then smiled when he set off the first trap. The man did not even know what happened when 3 beehives launched at him from different area. He replaced himself with a beehive that was flying at him and set off the next trap when he landed when water balloons started flying at him. He dodged most of them but the ones that did get him soaked him. Next thing he knew smoke bombs started to go off all around him. He starts to run out of the smoke only for a fox to jump on him and bite him on the arm as he exits. The man finally frees himself from the fox that was on him. The smoke clear off and the fox was gone. The man looked around and saw a small boy looking at him laughing. The boy then said, "I don't know who you are buddy but you ruined all my pranks I had set up for those stiffs in that house." The man was fuming and started to do hand signs and said, "Raiden. Edge strike." And a lightning bolt shot out of his hand running for Naruto. Naruto dodged and the bolt hit where Naruto was standing, but the man was not as lucky because the electricity in the attack traveled the water from all the water balloons on the ground and came back and electrocuted him. He collapsed on the ground. Just then Hiyashi along with a few other members of the Hyuga family came running out to see what was all the excitement was about. Hiyashi saw a man in a mask wearing dark cloths on the ground passed out. He also saw water on the ground, some beehives broken on the ground and a little blonde hair boy on the ground by a tree. Hiyashi walked over to the boy and said, "What is going on here?" Naruto said, "That idiot messed up my pranks I was setting up and tried to kill me with lightning bolts. He missed me and hit the water. Next thing I know he falls to the ground." Hiyashi smiles inwardly and said, "Why were you putting pranks by our compound?" Naruto smiled and said, "I noticed all of you missed all the fun at the parade today, so I thought it would be fun to give you guys some fun since you missed it today." Several members of the family twitched at that, but Hiyashi said, "Well, I do thank you for the concern, young man, but we had our own fun today as it was my daughter's birthday, but it looks like you caught a spy for us, so thank you. Now you should go home. We will take it from here." Naruto said, "Sure thing, old man. Tell your daughter I said happy birthday. Good night." Hiyashi turned around and said, "I want this man tied up and someone get the Hokage for me." When the Hokage got there with some Abnu, Hiyashi said, "I would like you to take this man here and find out why he was here tonight. A little prankster with blonde hair caused the man to knock himself out for us. Have a good night, Hokage-sama." And with that he walked back inside with his family members. The Hokage had Abnu take the man to Ibiki office for interrogation and went home with a smile on his face. The next day word spread about how a cloud ninja that came to kidnap the Hyuga heir and was stopped by the demon boy. Funny thing was no one knew where to find him at. Naruto was in area 44 sleeping in the tower getting some rest. The Hokage had him put Thier under supervision of Special Junin Anko and a member of Abnu with a fox mask in case someone wanted to get revenge because they think they are being tricked by the demon. Time skip. Time flew by for the next few years and it came time for Naruto to join the academy with kids his own age. Originally Naruto entered 2 years early, but this time was different. Naruto entered at age 9. Naruto wore cloths like he did when he was little. A pair of black ninja pants with built-in holsters. Naruto also had a skin-tight black shirt with the spiral on the front and back, but on the inside it had a Kazama diamond. Naruto still wore his face mask to cover his whiskers. Only in private did he ever remove it. He wore the same type of cloths all throughout the academy time. Kakashi taught him how to eat without removing it. Naruto had become proficient in Guken Iron Fist style, and the hummingbird style used by the Kazama clan. Anko taught him the viper style she uses, but he does not use it very much since his body style is not good for it. He learned to play shogi and go from Asuma and also received several historical books on warfare and strategy. Kurinai taught him a few genjutsu, but mostly how to detect and break without using his bloodline, which he was thankful for. Jia taught him the Iron Fist and how to incorporate his other two into it to make his own style. Kakashi, Kaza, and Anko, rather than teach him a bunch of ninjutsu, taught him how to use them properly to a point where some did not even need hand seals. His chakra control was easily high. Chunin, low Junin, speed, stamina, and chakra are off the scale. Naruto currently only had the Fox contract because Anko did not want to take a chance with Manda, which Naruto agreed completely. As for the frog contract, Naruto could sign it at any time since both Gamataki and Gambunta know the whole story and have agreed to let him sign it, but Naruto said he wanted to wait and sign it when he can summon Gambunta with his own chakra twice in one day as a sign of respect. Kaza had also been training Naruto in Kenjutsu with some Bodens. Naruto had already explained to the inner circle, as it has been named after the cloud incident, that he had to be bottom of the class to be put with Sasuke. The Uchiha massacre did happen, but there was a total of 6 survivors, all children under the age of 3 beside Sasuke. The Hokage had requested from the Uchiha and the Hyuga for a special security precaution after a supposed kidnapping of one of their bloodline. It was a secret setup with the clan heads only, and since Itachi was on a mission when they left, he was unaware of missing children. The children had been moved into the Saratobi compound under protection of the Third's clan. That cloud incident was a great setup for the Leaf. The Raikage had to turn over the Cloud Village secret scroll as penalty. Naruto was allowed to learn 4 different jutsu off of it. Among them was Raiden Bunshin, Raiden, Edge Strike, Raiden, Shock, Raiden, Storm Shock. He is now 12 years old and is actually the second tallest in class at 5 feet 10 and 150 pounds. His chest was solid and had a well-defined six-pack since he has had actual food that mysteriously appeared in his fridge and cabinets and been seriously training for years. In books he was dead last. Jutsu he was middle of class and weapons throwing he was dead last. Also he has not had any break-ins since all doors and windows had a seals on and around them so that they can't open them or break them unless they knew the proper way. The windows were also tinted so you could see out but no one could see in. Man, it was great to have a dad who was a seal expert. However, unlike last time, he actually had a small fan club. Today was the day for graduation exam. Naruto still befriended Iruka, and pulled his major prank of painting the Hokage faces. This time, however, he painted them with respect of actual likeness in color. The Hokage laughed, and when the council tried to have Naruto punished, he said, "It seems our security has been slipping inside our own village if a child could paint a mountain with such detail without being caught in a village full of ninja." The third chuckled all day over that, and since Naruto used chakra-enhanced paint on it, he decided to leave it. Finally, Iruka walked into class with Mizuki. "Iruka. Okay class, first off we will do a written test first." Mizuki started passing out papers and with a sleight of hand gave Naruto the one off the bottom. Naruto saw the switch, and after Mizuki passed by, Naruto cast a genjutsu on the test to make it completely different. After all the papers he held up his hand. Iruka saw it and asked, "What is wrong, Naruto?" Naruto said, "I believe I was given the wrong test." Iruka said, "Why do you think that?" Naruto said, "Well, I will read it out loud." Carl put his hands on Maria's right and slowly started to caress it while he slowly. Naruto was interrupted by a red-faced Iruka who ran up and grabbed the paper and read it real quick and said, "You are right, Naruto. Someone gave you something else. Let me get you the real test." Many students in class turned beet red or snickered, and Iruka gave him a real test. After everyone finished the written test, they went out to the archery range and threw shurikens and kuniyas at targets. Sasuke got a 10 out of 10, Naruto got a 10 out of 10, Sakura got a 6/10. Finally it came to the replacement, Henjin Bunshin test. Every one of the rookie 9 passed until it got Naruto turn. Iruka said, "Okay Naruto, I need you to do a henge." Naruto henge into his dad in Hokage robes. Iruka then said as he picked up a blunt kuniya, "Now Naruto, I need you to do replacement with something in this room." "Okay Naruto, here goes." And Iruka threw the kuniya at Naruto's stomach. Naruto used replacement and replaced himself with Mizuki. Now since Mizuki is a little taller than Naruto, he was not hit in the stomach. No, he was hit at almost every mon's pride and joy. He dropped like a skydiver without a parachute. After Mizuki was able to continue, Iruka said, "Okay, I need you to make a bunshin to pass." Naruto asked, "Does it matter what kind of bunshin?" Iruka shook his head no, and Naruto went through some seal before creating 5 bunshins. Iruka said, "You pass Naruto." Mizuki became enraged and said, "I will kill you, demon. You cheated to pass and ruined all my plans, so I will kill you early." And then charged at Naruto with a kunai and went to stab him in the stomach. Naruto used replacement and switched with one of his clones. When Mizuki stabbed the clone, he received a surprise. The bunshin was a Raiden bunshin, and the kuniya carried the electricity back into Mizuki and paralyzed him. Just then a Abnu in a fox mask appeared in the class and grabbed Mizuki before disappearing in a swirl of leaves. Naruto received his headband and the class was dismissed. When Naruto walked out, he was met by a girl from his class that he knew very well. She was just a little shorter than him and had white eyes and shoulder-length blue hair. Naruto smiled at her and said, "Congrats Hinata-chan on passing, you have been doing great." Hinata had become more confident since her father was kinder and only encouraged her. He also disbanded the cage bird seal on the Hyuga clan. The Hyugas had become one family. The council tried to overrule him and have him removed, but all 5 of them were branded with the seal and banished with help of his brother Hizashi. Neji had been named the heir to the clan since he was the most gifted protege in over 100 years. Also Tsunade had been brought back to Konoha and by delivering Hanabi early by C-section was able to save Hiya's wife from dying of complications. Hinata smiled and said, "Thanks Naruto-kun, congrats to you also. I was wondering if you would like to have dinner this evening with me." Hiyashi walked up and had a stupid grin on his face and said, "Hinata dear, I am afraid that we won't be possible because I was invited to a dear friend's tonight for dinner and your mother, Hanabi, and you were all invited along with my Hizashi brother, cousin Neji and his mother, so I am sorry, but you can invite your friend another day." Hinata was sad but she smiled and said, "Sorry Naruto-kun, but perhaps we can another time." Naruto smiled and said, "Sure Hinata-chan, I would be glad to." Naruto walked off and went to his apartment and went inside and found a note on the table that said, "Kid, congrats on passing today, we are proud of you and have a special surprise for you tonight. The package on the table is some new cloths. Take a shower and look your best, you will find out why later. Don't eat, pick you up at 5. Love the 1500th. Naruto looked at the time and saw it was already 3:30, so he went and took a shower and got into his new cloths, which was a white kimono with a fox on the bottom with an Uzumaki spiral on the left and on the right had Kazama diamond. Also there was a black pair of moccasins and a pendant with the Kazama diamond with the initial ANA on the back. Also there was the one thing Naruto had missed the most. The Shodaime Hokage necklace. He put on some kalon and fixed his hair as best as possible. Naruto smiled when he looked at himself in the mirror. Then he heard a voice in the background. "You look as handsome as your father does, son." Naruto turned to the source of the voice and said, "Thanks mom." Anko walked over to him and said, "Ready to go." After seeing him shake his head yes, she put her hand on his shoulder and they disappeared into a swirl of leaves. The next thing Naruto saw, he was in a room he had not been in and yet has. He was in the formal dining room of the Kazama estates. There sitting at the head of the table was his dad Arashi Kazama, without his disguise on, wearing his official Hokage robes. Naruto was confused as Anko said, "Excuse me while I get ready, our guest shall be here in a little while." Quote. Arashi gestured to the seat on his right and Naruto sat down. Arashi said, "Naruto, I want you to relax, tonight we have a couple of reasons to celebrate. One is your graduating, oh and nicely handled dealing with that traitor. The other reason you will find out when our guest arrive." Just then Kakashi walked out of the kitchen area and said, "It should be done on time Arashi-sensei." Arashi just nodded and said, "I want all four of you to know I really appreciate you for doing this and everything else you have done in the past for me and my family." Kurinai said, "Don't worry, it was worth it for all the help Naruto has gave to us over the past." Jia came out next but he had a gag over his mouth so he could not say anything. Naruto saw this and said, "Let me guess, Kakashi made a challenge for Jia to be quiet for so long, didn't he?" Asuma walked out of the kitchen next and said, "Yeah, everything is ready now." Arashi nodded. Anko walked back in wearing a blue kimono with the Kazama diamond on the back. Just then there was a big puff sound and standing there was the third Hokage, Hiyashi, his wife Liana, Hinata, Neji, Hizashi, and his wife Jane. Most of the people there was confused. Finally Arashi stood up and said, "Welcome to the Kazama Estates my friends. I know most of you here are wondering what's going on and I will explain it over dinner, so please sit and we can get started." Everyone sat down and most were a little unnerved. Kakashi and Kurina brought out a soup and salad for everyone to enjoy while the main course was getting ready. Hiyashi finished his soup and said, "I think it is time to tell those of us who do not know what's going on here what's up." Arashi smiled and said, "I guess it would be best if I started it off. It started about 8 years from now. I know that may sound weird but it's the truth. Orochimaru was about to die from his battle with Naruto Uzumaki. He got lucky with a distraction and sent the Naruto from that timeline back to September 29, XX95 before the Kyuubi attack. Since this is going to get confusing, I will call that Naruto Naruka. Naruka proved to us about being from the future and made it where we were able to save a bunch of lives of what we originally lost. Unfortunately, Orochimaru from this timeline came to find out why the curse seal on Anko was removed and attacked her. She was pregnant with Naruto at the time, though only a few know that. During the attack on Anko she was injured and put into a coma. They had to deliver the baby by C-section while she was in a coma. Naruka became enraged and attacked Orochimaru but was poisoned with a new chakra poison. He only had a few days to live, so he switched places with me and performed the sealing on Naruto. Naruto gave Naruto his memories of the future and also gave us information on certain event. Hazashi, you being alive right now is a perfect example of that. Arashi stopped right there for a moment to let all the information sit in. Hazashi asked, "What do you mean by that?" Naruto said, "Remember the night I stopped the Cloud Ninja outside your compound? From the original timeline, that ninja made it inside and got Hinata and was leaving when Hiash stopped him. Cloud was ready to declare war on Konoha for breaking the new peace treaty. They made a compromise. The head of Hiash Hyuga. Since you are his twin brother, and had the cage bird seal on your head, you took his place and was killed. Neji took that as an example that fate was predetermined, and for the next 9 years he grew up hating the main branch. During the Chunin exams, Hinata had to face Neji in a preliminary. If the medics would have gotten to her 2 minutes later, Hinata would have died. Also, Hinata's mother was another example of us changing stuff. She originally died from complications during Hanabi childbirth. Neji said, "Sorry to interrupt, but what sealing were you referring to before?" Naruto sighed and said, "I guess I better tell it since anyone else would be put to death over it. Kyuubi, the nine-tailed fox that attacked us for revenge against Orochimaru for killing her family, was sealed into me to stop her since she could not be killed normally. Because of my first life and experiences, I was able to come to a compromise with her to keep from having to worry about her breaking out and give her the revenge she wanted against a common enemy, Orochimaru." Arashi smiled and said, "Now that that is taken care of, you were all invited for 2 reasons. One is the congrats to Hinata and Naruto for passing. The other reason only Hiash and myself know. Hiash, would you like to do the honors?" Hiash smiled that creepy smile and said, "With pleasure. You see, before the Kyuubi attack I arranged a marriage for Hinata and the heir to the Kazama clan." Naruto spit out his water he was drinking and everyone looked at him. Kakashi said, "I got it on tape, Arashi-sensei," as he turned off his camcorder. Hinata, who was confused about who they were talking about, said, "Pardon me, father, but who is the heir to the Kazama clan that you arrange me to marry, and when will it be?" Liana said, "Yes dear, who is it and why have you not told me this before?" Hazashi looked around the table and said, "I can't believe I did not see it before. There is no doubt he is Arashi's son." Liana looked where Hazashi was looking and then gasped. Hinata looked confused and said, "What?" Naruto said, "Hinata, my real name is Naruto Kazama. I had my name changed to protect me from mine and my family's enemies. I also am the only carrier of the improved Shirogen bloodline trait. I had Kyuubi change it a little so I will be able to fight Itachi and Sasuke Uchiha when the time comes." Neji said, "Why would you need to worry about the last Uchiha in this village?" Naruto said, "In the upcoming Chunin exam we will be at war, no way around it. Orochimaru wants the Sharingan and will put a curse seal like Mom's on Sasuke, but Sasuke will abandon the village to go to the Sound Village for power. The mission to retrieve him nearly cost Choji, Lee, Kiba, Shikamaru, Neji and myself our lives. 4 genin and 1 chunin against 6 Junin curse seal users and Sasuke. I was stabbed twice with Chidori through the chest." Hinata asked, "What's a Chidori?" Kakashi said, "An A-class assassination jutsu that I created." Hinata said, "So that means that I am going to be getting married to Naruto-kun, right?" Hiash said, "Yes, when you both turn 14. Hinata looked at Naruto and, before she darted around the table and kissed Naruto on the lips. Naruto blanked out for a few moments with his eyes closed. When Naruto opened his eyes again, they were blood red and everyone tensed. Naruto then said, "Relax, the kid is still fine and I am still trapped. This is just a safeguard we created so if he was knocked out or passed out I can get temporary control so we don't die. Besides, according to the contract we drawed up, if I attack anyone he counts as precious I will automatically be absorbed the rest of the way and be gone for good, so I am in no rush to chance that, especially when the Snake Man is still alive. Well, he is coming back around, so CYA." Naruto's eyes closed and when he opened them everyone was looking at him and he said, "What happened?" Arashi said, "What was the last thing you remember?" Naruto looked at Hinata and quickly looked away and said, "I am not sure. I heard a loud noise and it gets fuzzy after that." Everyone burst out laughing and Hinata said, "Sorry Naruto-kun, I guess I was so excited I moved too fast. Naruto paled and said, "You mean that was real?" The third said, "Ah, young love. Anyways, I want you all to know that you cannot reveal any of this until after the Chunin exams. As far as the rest of the village is concerned, Arashi dead, Anko is single, and Naruto is an orphan with the Kyuubi sealed in him, and you cannot tell anyone about it, even those who already know, because you could be killed. I made that law to protect Naruto, but it could be made a great bargaining chip to some of the people who want to kill him." Everyone nodded and finished their meals with general conversation. Naruto and Hinata went to the front room and started talking. Naruto, "Hinata, are you okay with this wedding thing?" Hinata, Naruto-kun, there is something I've been wanting to tell you. I have been in love with you for over 2 years now. Why do you think I am the president of your fan club?" Naruto looked at her and said, "You mean you're the president? I have tried everything I could to figure out who it was because I had to escape my fan club to practice. If I known it was you and knew about this arranged marriage, it could have saved us both a lot of headache." Hinata smiled and leaned her head on Naruto's shoulders. Naruto sat in peace for a moment and said, "I guess I was an idiot in both timelines. Now that I think about the other me, I can see how you love me then also." Hinata just said, "MMMHHMMMM." Naruto then stood up and got on one knee and took of his Hokage necklace and said, "Hina-chan, I know this may be a little formal and I know we never really had a chance to date, but I would rather have a marriage that we accepted on our terms, so Hinata, even though I don't have a ring right now, I do have something instead. Will you take this necklace that was once the only one in the world, now there are two, just like us? Will you take this necklace and marry me?" Hinata was crying and said, "Yes, Naruto-kun, yes, you had my heart always, you just had to ask. Yes, I will." Suddenly there was catcalls and clapping in the background, and when both preteens looked around, a genjutsu that was being cast dropped and there stood everyone. Liana said, "That was sweet, but I do have one question. What is so special about that necklace you were talking about?" and gave Hinata. Naruto said, "That necklace is more than enough to buy several mountains. I got that necklace in a bet. I had to master the final step of Rasengan in a week. I did and won it from Tsunade, the Godaime Hokage. The necklace belonged to the Shodaime Hokage. It was the only one in the world, but since I brought it back in time, there are now two." Hinata thought for a moment and said, "I do have one question. When can we tell about the engagement?" The adults all looked at each other until Hiyashi said, "I have no problem with it to tell now, but you have to use the Uzumaki name until Arashi is public knowledge." Naruto sighed and said, "I hate to do this, no, but I think it might be better to wait until we are both 14, or I can take care of a major problem." Everyone looked confused at that, and the third said, "What are you talking about, no?" Naruto said, "Shortly after the cleanup begins from the war, one leave with Jiraiya to look for Tsunade. During that time I first meet Akatsuki. Originally 10s class criminals, Orochimaru was a member but left with one of their rings. Without the rings they cannot get new members. Members are Deidara, Sasori, Hidan, Itachi Uchiha, Kisame Hoshigaki, Tobi, Zetsu, Kakuzu, and the leader. No one knows his name, the group always calls him Master. I am one of their 9 targets. They almost always travel in teams of 2. That is one of the reason why when Itachi was still around I stayed out of his way mostly, so he never really knew how strong I was." Everyone sat in silence for a moment. Arashi finally asked, "Do you know why they want you?" Naruto said, "Yes, I found out. They want to free the 10-tailed demon Omega from his stone prison. All 9 of the tailed beast band together and imprisoned him. If all 9 were sacrificed, he would be free. Akatsuki thinks they can control him. They are very sadly mistaken if all the info I have is accurate. When Kyuubi attacked, she only used 1/8 of her true power. The demon I am talking about makes Kyuubi look like a toddler." Silence was all that was heard after that speech. Neji asked, "What would happen if they remove the demon from you?" Naruto looked at the floor and whispered just loud enough for everyone to hear, "Death." He then sighed and said, "The only one of us that has a chance to survive it is Gaara, and that's because one of his people sacrificed her life for him with a forbidden jutsu only she knew." After a few minutes Naruto said, "Look everyone, I am getting pretty tired and everything, and we have team placement. Kakashi sensei, if you want some advice, bring earplugs." Hinata's lovely eek is nothing to Sakura's banshee calls, unless the third changes the lineup, which I hope not, because it kind of how me and Sakura got the rank of Sannin before. All 3 members of Team 7 trained be Sannins. Hinata, since I don't think it's safe to announce the engagement yet, we can still go for some dates, and if anyone asks, we are just friends. I played the role of an idiot all through school, I can keep it going a little longer. Is that okay with you? Hinata looked a little sad but said, only if when we are alone we can act like we are engaged. Naruto smiled and said, sure, Dad set my apartment up where it can't be broken into or spied on for my safety, and Hiyash, I give you my word we won't go beyond kissing until we are 14. Hiyash seemed to think it over for a moment, but Liana said, that's fine Naruto-kun, as long as you don't hurt Hinata and she is happy, that is all we care about. Right, dear? Hiyash gulped and nodded. Everyone shared a laugh at his expense. Finally everyone left, and after giving Hinata a goodnight kiss he was returned to his apartment. Naruto woke the next morning and decided it's time to start showing what he was really made of. After eating breakfast, taking a shower, he started getting dressed in a pair of black ninja pants with shuriken and kunai holster built in with flames along the bottom. A black fishnet shirt under his skin-tight black shirt with flames at the bottom and the end of the sleeves. A black leather jacket with a ninja vest built into it along with a straps on the back for his sword. His dad, after Naruto proved he could use a baton, he had a custom-made double-sided blade with seals in it to make it where he could channel both his and Kyuubi's chakra in it, never need sharpening and won't break. It was designed with a fox engraved into the handle and had the Uzumaki spiral around a Kazama diamond on engraved into the blade's base. The sword's sheath was also black with seals in it where only someone from the Naruto's bloodline could pull the blade out. If someone else tried they would get an electric shock. Naruto named his sword Foxbreath. Naruto sliped Foxbreath onto his back and used his forehead protector as a belt around his waist and secured his face mask on. He then left for Shawl but used Leaf Shushin to get to school quicker without any trouble. After making it to school he took a seat in the back of class since he was the only one there. Hinata soon arrived and sat down beside Naruto. She then looked around and after making sure no one was around quickly pulled his face mask down and gave him a passionate kiss before pulling his mask back up. Naruto was dazed again until someone came into the room. Shino sat about the middle of class. Naruto leaned over to Hinata and said, "Good morning, Hina-chan, sleep well." Hinata smiled and grabbed Naruto's hand under the table and said quietly, "Yes, very Naruto-kun, what about you?" Naruto said, "It was almost heaven but now that you're here it is." Shikamaru and Choji walked in and sat on the seat just above Shino. Sasuke walked into the room and Naruto said, "And now it is hell." Sasuke walked into the room and saw Naruto sitting with Hinata and walked up to them and said, "Naruto, tell me know how you did that yesterday." Naruto looked at him and said, You say something Sasuke." Shikamaru and Choji both snickered and Sasuke fumed before saying, "You will tell me what I want Dobi." Kiba walked into the room with a Kumara on his head. Naruto released Hinata's hand and said, "I am not going to do it and you do not order me Uchiha." Sasuke became enraged and charged at Naruto and Naruto replaced Hinata with a Kumara and himself with Kiba. Sasuke had too much speed build up and tackled Kiba to the ground. Akumara sees his master attacked, jumped on Sasuke and bit him in the arm. Kiba got up and started fighting Sasuke. Ino and Sakura, who just fell through the class door, say Sasuke fighting Kiba and went to cheer him. Sasuke started going through hand seals and took a deep breath before releasing a fire-style Phoenix Flower Jutsu at Kiba. Naruto, not one to see a friend get hurt, used replacement Aegean but this time replaced Kiba with Sasuke. Sasuke got hit by his own jutsu. Sakura and Ino both walked over to hit Kiba for hurting her Sasuke. Naruto smiled one more time before replacing Sasuke with Kiba Aegean. Poor Sasuke. Everyone in class but Ino, Sakura and Sasuke, who had 2 lumps on his head, a dog bite on his arm, and his cloths were burnt. Just then Iruka walks in and yells, "Settle down class, sit down for placement." After everyone sat down and Iruka went through the team placement. Finally it came to Team 7 Sasuke, Naruto, and Hinata. Team 8, Kiba, Shino, Sakura. Team 10 Ino, Choji, Shikamaru. Your senseis will be here in a little bit. And with that Iruka left. Ino and Sakura were both being jealous and went over to Hinata, and Sakura said, "How did a no good tramp like you get to be on a team with my Sasuke? Buy your way to take my place." Ino said, "Yeah, with my Sasuke." Naruto walked up behind both girls and said, "Ladies, I usually don't like to get involved in the matters of the heart, but you both owe Hinata an apology since she is not a tramp, and as for buying her way into the team, I do admit that her family could, but since they are a traditional royal family, they usually have arranged marriages. I know Hinata would never lower herself to have to chase a disturbed guy like Sasuke that is probably gay. I mean, with all the women chasing him, and he won't even go on a date, but he will fight any guy he can so he can play with their butt, so tell her you're sorry." Sakura said, "And why should I listen to the dead last like you?" Naruto disappeared and reappeared behind Sakura and said, "I may not be as book smart as you, but what good do books do when an enemy has a kunai at your neck? You can't read a book, you have to act, and if you can't do it, you're dead, and what would your precious Sasuke do about it? Let's ask him." Naruto then yelled, "Sasuke, question, an enemy you are after, dead or alive, has your teammate hostage with a kunai at his or her neck and is using your teammate as a shield. Even if it was Sakura or Ino, what would you do?" Sasuke just HMPD and said, "I would kill the hostage and then capture or kill the enemy. If my teammates can't take care of themselves, they don't deserve to live." Naruto smirked and said, "See what I mean? Even with your looks, he would just kill you for getting in his way. Do you really want to be with him? Now I think you owe Hinata an apology as well as you, Ino." Ino and Sakura both said sorry and went to sulk in the corner by themselves. Kurinai and Asuma came and got teams 8 and 10 but smirked at Naruto as they were leaving. After everyone left, leaving only Team 7, Naruto sighed before looking at the clock. Naruto then sat down beside Hinata and said, "Sorry about the fangirls, you know how some of them can go crazy at the source of their love, defend them even when they are wrong, or jumping on them and kissing them." Naruto smirked when he was saying that and grabbed Hinata's hand under the table. Hinata blushed and then smirked before she said, "Is that a bad thing?" Naruto put his finger to his chin and said, "It all depends on if it's actual true love and both care for each other and are willing to live the rest of their lives together, but that's just my opinion, you can have your own, and personally I encourage it. Now I am just wondering why the Hokage switched teams though. I will have to talk to him to make sure we get the wave mission though." Naruto looked over at Sasuke, who was still brooding. Naruto squeezed Hinata's hand and then said, "Sasuke, I think our sensei is going to be a while before he or she gets here. Want to join us?" Sasuke just HMPED and said, "If you try and get in my way, I will kill you." Naruto sighed and said, "Well, if that's the way you feel, I am going to get some ramen. Would either of you like to join me?" Sasuke just crossed his arms and looked out the window. Hinata said, "I would love to, Naruto-kun." Naruto stood up and created a Kajbunshin and said, "If our sensei comes before we get back, just dispel and we will hurry back." "Ready to go, Hinata." Naruto just put his hands on Hinata's shoulders and they shushined out of the class and appeared at Ichiraku. They both walked in and took a seat. Ichiraku walked over and said, "Oh, Naruto, I am glad to see you today and brought me a new customer. What is your name, young lady?" Hinata smiled and said, "My name is Hinata Hyuga. Pleasure to meet you, sir." Naruto smiled and looked around the dinner and since saw it was empty and said, "Hinata, this is old man Ichiraku, one of my closest friends. Like everyone last night, he knows about me, but only him. Ichiraku, I have some great news, but you have to keep it a secret like the other stuff, okay?" Ichiraku smiled and looked with disbelief and said, "You sure have a handful of secrets, Naruto, but sure, I agree." Naruto smiled and said, "I would like to let you know that she is my fiancé. We are getting married when we both turn 14, but we have to keep it a secret for safety reason, and I know for one you and your daughter will definitely be invited." Ichiraku said, "Congrats, you two. Today is on the house, okay?" Hinata said, "Thank you, I will have one miso please." Naruto smiled and said, "I will have one miso also, but we have to hurry because we are supposed to meet our sensei soon." Ichiraku got their orders ready and after both ate, Naruto shushined them both to back to class. After they both sat down, Naruto dispelled his clone. A few minutes later, Kakashi walked in and said, "My first thoughts of you are." Naruto interrupted him and said, "The best team you will ever have." Kakashi smiled and said, "A bunch of misfits." All three genins facefaulted. Kakashi then said, "Meet me on the roof for meet and greet." A few minutes later everyone was on the roof. Kakashi said, "Okay, let's introduce ourselves. My name is Kakashi. My likes and dislikes are none of your business. My hobbies will be yours by the end of the week." Naruto glared at Kakashi and said, "My name is Naruto Uzumaki. I like ramen and my precious people. I hate people who judge others for stupid reason and those who would betray this village or hurt my precious people. My hobbies are known only to those who are precious, and my dreams for the future are being Hokage and marrying a beautiful and kind-hearted woman." Hinata smiled and blushed before saying, "My name is Hinata Hyuga. I like my family and a certain someone. I dislike broody people and those who call others weak. My plans for the future are making my family proud and be a medic nin." Sasuke said, "My name is Sasuke Uchiha. I am an avenger. I will kill my brother when I see him. Anyone who gets in my way I will kill. After that I will restore my clan with a strong woman who can have children but knows her place is to be barefoot and pregnant." Everyone there was thinking the same thing. What a jackass. Kakashi said, "Well, I was planning on doing this tomorrow, but I decided we would do the test today. Everyone meet at the memorial stone in 15 minutes or fail." Kakashi disappeared in a swirl of leaves. Sasuke jumped off the roof and started running. Naruto sighed and said, "Grab my arm, Hinata." Hinata did, and they both disappeared in a swirl of leaves and reappeared beside the memorial stone. Kakashi was reading from his book on the tree limb he was sitting on and said, "I see you both made it. Where is Sasuke?" Naruto said, "Mister, I don't need anyone took off running rooftops. He should be here in about 5 minutes. Can I ask a question? Why the change up?" Kakashi said, "He figured it would be easier for you to help get Hinata and yours teamwork better now because he has started working on ways to stop that group. I can feel Sasuke coming, so act normal. Also Naruto, don't tell them the answer to my first test. Let's see if Hinata or Sasuke can figure it out. My money says Hinata will, but Sasuke won't. Any takers?" Naruto said, "I know a big blonde that would." Somewhere in Tea Country a blonde woman sitting next to a black-haired woman with a pig sneezed. Just then Sasuke arrived, and when he saw Naruto and Hinata he walked to a tree and punched it. Kakashi jumped down and said, "Well, now that everyone is here, let's begin this test. If you fail you will go back to the academy." He then pulled out 2 bells and said, "The objective is to get these 2 bells before dark. If you fail to get them you will be tied up and fail. Now begin." All 3 genins disappeared. Naruto decided to have a little fun and created 6 Kajbunshians and had 2 henge into Hinata and 2 into Sasuke. He had them split into 2 teams of 3. One team split apart and one stayed together. The group that split up went one at a time to confront Kakashi. Narclone A jumped into the clearing and said, "I challenge you right here right now," and charged at Kakashi. Kakashi pulled out his pink book and said, "First Tiahutsu." Narclone A tried to punch Kakashi, but Kakashi blocked and punched the clone in the face and it went up in a puff of smoke. Hinata was watching everything from her hiding spot, was about to jump and help Naruto when it popped out of existence. She decided to see what happened next. Hinclone A charged right then and using a sloppy gentle fist style went pop before even getting a hit. Next Sasclone A jumped out and tried to use fire style Phoenix Flower Jutsu, but the Kakashi that was hit turned into a log. Kakashi then hit Sasclone A with a kunai and it went up in smoke. Next the 3 other clones jumped out and worked together. Naruto went for a leg sweep. Kakashi jumped. Sasuke jumped and tried to punch Kakashi. Hinata tried to strike when Kakashi landed. All 3 then attacked one more time only for Kakashi to destroy them all. The real Sasuke was fuming, and when all 3 clones went up in smoke he threw 6 shurikens at Kakashi only for Kakashi to disappear into smoke as well. Sasuke then started changing locations. Hinata, who saw the clones attack, smiled and left to find Naruto. When she found Naruto she saw smoke coming from the next clearing. Hinata landed by Naruto and said, "Teamwork, right, we have to work as a team." Naruto said, "Maybe, just you and me." Hinata said, "No, they put us in 3-man teams for a reason." Sasuke also. Naruto smiled and said, "Let's go get Tem." When Naruto and Hinata made it to Sasuke, his head was the only thing left above ground. They both pulled him out and Hinata said, "Sasuke, the test is not to get the bell as teamwork. Sasuke said. You are a fool, Hyuga. Now get out of my way. As he jumped off to find Kakashi. Naruto sighed and said, well, we know the test answer and tried to get Sasuke to help. Do you want to show Kakashi what we really can do or just sit the rest of the test out? Hinata said. I need to work of some aggression from Sasuke attitude. Let's show him what to do. Just then Kakashi showed up and said, no need. I saw everything and you both pass. Let's go back to the memorial stone and met Sasuke. Naruto smirked and said, hey Kakashi, I just had a great idea. Give me and Hinata a bell. Kakashi smiled behind his mask and handed them both the bells. When they all got back to the memorial stone, Sasuke jumped out of the tree he was hiding in and tried to attack Kakashi. Kakashi punched him in the face and quickly tied Sasuke to a log. After everyone sat down, Kakashi said, Sasuke, you don't have to worry about going back to the academy. Sasuke smirked and said, see Hyuga, you should learn your place and stay out of my way. Kakashi punched Sasuke in the face again, but this time broke the nose. Kakashi said, you should just quit being a ninja altogether. Both of your teammates figured out the test and got a bell from me. Sasuke started fumbling and tried to get out of his ropes. Naruto and Hinata both handed the bells back to Kakashi. Kakashi then said, since I can't fail you because both of your teammates realized that teamwork was the real test, I can't fail you. However, if you do not change that attitude and start working as a team, I will take you off active duty and I won't teach you anything while your teammates get stronger. Sasuke said. Fine, now release me. Kakashi said. No, first team exercise, you have to convince your teammates to release you. I will see you all tomorrow at the bridge over there at 7 a.m. Good night. Sasuke was livid and tried to break free. Naruto and Hinata looked at him and waited and waited and waited and waited. Finally Naruto had enough and said, Hinata, let me walk you home. If he wanted us to release him he would have asked by now. Hinata got up and they both started to walk away. Sasuke yelled, release me now. Sakura and Ino had both been looking for Sasuke ever since their team's past. They were just about to give up when they heard him scream, release me now. They both took off toward his voice. They saw Naruto and Hinata start walking away from a tied-up Sasuke. Both girls start running toward him only to be interrupted by Naruto and Hinata. Naruto said, leave him alone. Our sensei said to do this to him and we are following orders. Unless he asks us to release him we can't. Sakura said, he did already. Hinata said, no, he demanded us to, not ask. The only reason he passed the test is because me and Naruto both figured it out. Sasuke refused to work as a team and Sensei said he will take Sasuke off active duty if he does not learn. Sakura said, but he is Sasuke, he was Rookie of the Year, he is the best. Naruto said, then why can't he break free on his own? Now if you don't mind leave. Ino grabbed Sakura and they both left. Naruto and Hinata turned to leave and Naruto said, last chance, are you going to ask us or what? After waiting for a few moments they both left Sasuke tied to the log. After Naruto dropped Hinata off he went back to Team 7 training ground and saw Sasuke try to get free. Around midnight Sasuke was tired of standing and being tied and said to no one, please release me. Naruto threw a kunai from where he was hiding and after it cut the rope he shushined back to his apartment and went to bed. For the next 2 weeks Team 7 had worked pretty good as a team. Sasuke would not say anything unless Kakashi said something but at least tried to be a team player but he would not go out of his way to help the others, he would just do his part and that was it. We find Team 7 turning Tora back into the Firelord's wife hands in the Hokage's office. After the cat's owner left the Hokage said, okay Team 7 your next mission is. Just then the door to his office opened and Team 8 walked in. Kurinai said, Team 8 reporting mission success. Kiba said, sorry for the interruption sir but can our next mission be of higher rank, if I have to chase a cat or pick weeds one more time I will go insane. The Hokage said, okay I have a joint mission for you. C rank escort duty. You can come in now. Naruto tensed for a moment. The only ones who caught it was the Hokage. A man walked in wearing a straw hat and drinking sake said, I am the master bridge builder Tazana, I hope you can protect me. Naruto said, I am sure we can do it sir, Even if we meet an occasional missing nin, we are great ninja. Kiba said. Naruto, quit trying to act cool, you wimp. Naruto looked at him and said, Did you say something, Kiba? Everyone snickered at that and the Hokage said, meet at the south gate in 2 hours and prepare to be there for several weeks. Kakashi, Kurinai, please stay. Also Naruto, I need to ask you about the paint job on the Hokage Mountiona, so please stay. After everyone left, the Hokage said, okay Naruto, what's up? Naruto said, we will encounter the demon brothers and later before we get to Tazana's we will meet Zabuza, the devil of the mist. He has an apprentice disguised as a mist hunter nin who is a skilled medic nin and has a bloodline of an ice user. Last one of his clan, I originally got them to switch sides before they both died. The millionaire Gato is killing Wave Country. He had over 600 mercenaries who work for him in that country. We encounter 120 and most of them died before retreating. The ones that we did not meet joined the Sound Village and helped attack us. I would like to try and get Zabuza and Haku to join the Leaf at all possible. The Hokage thought for a moment and said, what do you believe is the best chance to take care of the assigned mission? Naruto thought for a moment and said, assassination of Gato is a given. Even if we stick to the original mission, he will die. The mercenaries we will have to deal with one way or another. Protection of Tazana and his family are both required or mission will fail. That's all I can think of right now besides the fact the demon brothers use poison on their weapons. Kakashi and Kurinai both looked at each other and then the Hokage said, okay Naruto, if you can get the Zabuza and his apprentice to join then so be it, if not you will have to get rid of them. Gato assassination is approved if you have a chance, he is wanted in Fire Country anyways for slave trade. The mercs are your own discretion but I am trusting all three of you with the protection of the clients and your teams. Naruto, if you have to use everything at your discretion. Good luck and dismissed. Naruto left Shushine to his apartment and got all of 24 kuniyas, 12 triprong kuniya, fox breath, exploding tags, his travel scroll of food and camping supplies his parents got for him. He also got a first aid scroll that contained antidote, peroxide, gauze and wraps, and soldier pills, and blood pills. Kit, what is bothering you now? I can feel you are worried about something. I have been asleep for a few hours now so I don't know what's going on. Naruto, Q-chan, I hope it won't be necessary but I may have to use more of your chakra on this mission. I got a bad feeling. All you have to do is ask Kit and it is all yours. Naruto, talk to you later. And Naruto Shushine to the gates. When he got there Hinata was already there along with Shino, Tazana, Kurinai, Sakura and Kakashi were all there. Everyone was waiting on Kiba. Naruto walked over to Hinata and reached into his weapon pouch and pulled out 2 3-prong kuniyas. Naruto then handed one to Hinata and said in a low voice, if you are ever in trouble and you need my help just throw that near you on the ground, okay? Hinata nodded and put the kuniya in her weapon pouch. Naruto said, Kakashi-sensei, heads up. And threw his other kuniya at Kakashi who caught it. Once Kakashi actually looked at it he dropped his book he was reading and said, you know that jutsu Naruto? Naruto said, yeah, I know it and can use it up to 2 miles in one throw but it eats the chakra. I only use it as a last resort. I just got a bad feeling about this mission. Kakashi put it in his weapon pouch as Kiba ran up. Kakashi picked his book up and when Naruto saw which version it was Naruto laughed as he remembered what happened last week. Flashback. Team 7 had been doing D-rank missions for a week now and today when they got to their meeting spot Kakashi was actually on time. Kakashi said, today we got an easy job but it will take us all day. We got a editing job for a famous author. He wants us to edit all 3 sets of his series. Hinata said, who is the author and what books are they? I may have read them. Kakashi said, you have but the author is Jiraiya. Naruto yelled, No. Sasuke said, what's your problem Dobi? I am sure it is a good book, whatever it is. Hinata blushed and said, yeah it's a good book, mom got me a copy the night of graduation to start reading for later. Naruto sighed and said, well I guess it can't help. Let's go meet Ero Sanin. Matter of fact I think I need to meet him anyways. Team 7 went to the hot spring. When they got there Kakashi said, I don't know where he is in this area. Naruto heard perverted giggling and said, I know where he is follow me. Naruto lead them to the fence on the women's side and Naruto saw him peeking. He then jumped up into a tree and after he see who was inside. Naruto saw one person he was ticked off about. He then jumped down and then tapped him on the shoulder and said, I know you like peeking arrow Sanin, but one of those women in there is a friend of mine and unless you want me to attack you I would stop right now. Also we are here to edit your book for you. Jiraiya looked one time at the group and tossed 3 manuscripts at them and said, here's the books I need edited but don't tell me what to do kid. Naruto sighed and said, do you have a pen and a sheet of paper? Jiraiya looked at him and said, oh, a future researcher, sure kid. He then handed it to Naruto. Naruto then wrote something real quick and said, you might want to read this. Jiraiya looked at it real quick. Stopped and reread it. Arrow Sanin. What does a water balloon, a rubber ball and a balloon full of air have in common? Want to know how I know that? Stop peeping on my mom before I have dad shove it up you. Want to know the answer? Ask the Hokage when alone to meet an ABNU codenamed Fox and be sure to describe the women for him in private. He then looked at Naruto and said, do you know what it is? Naruto said, sure do and tell him I am ready to sign it this afternoon after the mission. I am sure you will want to meet me Aegean, now we got a book to read. Naruto then walked over to Hinata and saw a small trickle of blood coming out of her nose. Naruto then looked at Sasuke and saw him looking white with disgust. Naruto whispered to Hinata, I still think he is gay, look. Kakashi who was above them said, I am starting to agree, think we should introduce him to Jia and Lee. Naruto said, no, even they don't deserve it. Hinata giggled and Naruto looked at her out of the corner of his eye and said, what? Hinata said, read this. Naruto read the page she was on and then looked at her and she said in a whisper, we are definitely trying that. Flashback end. Everyone was about a mile away from Konoha now and Naruto said, Kakashi sensei, have you made it to page 61 yet? Kakashi looked at him and said, no not yet why? Hinata saw the book and said, very educational. Everyone looked at them and Naruto said, one of our missions last week was to edit that and 2 other books. Kurenai said, Kakashi, tell me you did not. Kakashi said, you say something Kurenai. Naruto said, don't worry Kurenai, the author met Anko's new fling after he peeped on her that day. The Hokage had to get it published for him because he is still in the hospital. Something about snakevenom and high-speed impact but that's what I was told in rumor, you never know. Kurenai had to muffle a snicker at that. Naruto suddenly tensed as well as both senseis. Naruto slowed his pace and wrapped a exploding tag around a kunia until he fell to the back of the group. Kakashi walked toward the front and Kurenai got closer to Tazana. Everyone walked past a pair of puddles in the road and Naruto dropped the kunia right before you get to the puddles. After he made it about 5 feet past the puddle he charged a Rasengan in each hand in front of him. He then waited until both men started to come out of their puddles. The exploding tag went off and both men were surprised by the explosion. As they flew away from it Naruto appeared in front of both and said as he shoved a Rasengan into both men. Everyone in the group had jumped to a defensive position when the explosion happened. They only had time to see 2 men fly away from Naruto location as 2 balls of energy were in his hands. Both men flew backward and into a tree on each side. Once they hit a tree the Rasengans exploded and the wind tore at their cloths before both me passed out from pain. Kakashi said, good job Naruto, now Tazana we need to have a talk. As Tazana explained to Kakashi about Gato. Kurenai was interrogating the demon brothers. Everyone else was looking at Naruto. Naruto just leaned against a tree and waited. Sasuke walked over to him and said, dope, what was that jutsu you used and where did you get it? Naruto said, that jutsu is a secret. Sorry. Sasuke said, I demand you tell me where you got it. Naruto said, I got it from myself if you must know and I am not going to teach it to you, sorry. Sakura came over and said, you are the dead last of the class. You should be honor Sasuke wants something from you so you better tell him. Naruto smiled and said, Sakura, you know the only attractive feature you have. Everyone was listening in on this especially Hinata and Naruto said, your backside whenever you are leaving because I don't have to see you or listen to you anymore. Kiba snickered, Hinata giggled and Sakura stormed off. Sasuke was still standing there waiting for an answer. Naruto got up and walked over to Hinata and said, like the fireworks. Hinata giggled and said, only you could make people direct their attention one way when you were actually going the other. Kiba walked over and said, hey Hinata, why do you always hang out with that dead last when you could be with a real man like me? Hinata said, sorry Kiba, but I am just being with my best friend Naruto-kun. Kiba said, what was I thinking? There is no way you would lower yourself to a dead last when you could be with a real man like me. Hinata said, I think you are overexaggerating yourself Kiba and underexaggerating my teammate. Kakashi and Kurinai walked up and said, well, this C rank mission is actually AA rank mission. Do you want to return home or continue? After everyone talked they continued on their mission. Sasuke was brooding more. Kiba started eyeing Hinata. Naruto was getting jealous but you could only tell it with a twitch. Hinata was angering Kiba and trying to keep Naruto calm. Shino just had his bugs start scouting a little. Sakura. Well, Sakura was just watching Sasuke. After about 2 days of travel they made it to the shore of Fire Country. Originally it was just a small boat just big enough for 6 people. Now that there are 9 without the boat driver they have to find a new way to get to the land of Wave. After discovering this problem, they set up camp. As everyone was sitting around a fire Naruto said, I have a way to get us all there but everyone will get a little wet. Kakashi looked at Naruto and said, what you got planned? Naruto smiles and said, frogs. Kakashi smiled and everyone else looked confused. Kiba said, what would some stupid frogs be able to do to get us to the other shore? Naruto said, anyone got some blank scrolls? Kurina and Kakashi both pulled out about 2 scrolls each. Naruto took them and said, I know I am going to get slapped for this but any cloths, weapons, food, medicane, sleeping material, undergarments and books you don't want wet I would get them out and put them ready for me. Naruto started drawing seals on the blank scrolls everyone got their stuff gather and after Kurina gave Sakura a little chat. Naruto sealed everyone's stuff. After that everyone got to the shore. Sasuke said, I agree with Kiba, what good is some stupid small frogs going to do to get us on the other shore 5 miles away? Naruto said, who said anything about small frogs? And Naruto started doing hand seals and said, Huicho's number jutsu, and suddenly 10 frogs appeared. 9 battletoads 6 feet tall and 1 little orange toad. Naruto smiled and said, good to see you Eiji and Gamataki, I need you guys for a favor. I need to get all of us into Wave Country which is almost 5 miles from here. I also need you to scout ahead of the others and warn them of any enemy ninja, mercs, and ships. Can you do it for me? Gamataki said, yeah bro, we can do it but after it's done and you get back home you have got to get us some sake. Deal bro. Naruto said, sure, as long as you don't mind the cheap stuff. I am still a genin. Gamataki snickered at that and said, please, you and me both know that is crap. You could take on the perveri all day if you went all out Aegean. Naruto looked nervous and said, yeah, well we need to get a move on. Everyone I need you to crawl on the back of one of the battle frogs. All of the Jennings looked at him like he was crazy except Hinata. After everyone was on one Naruto said, hold on and we should make it in less than an hour. Let's go. And with that all of the frogs jumped in the water. It took right at an hour to get there because they had to go around a partial boat. After they got to the other side everyone was soaked to the bone but all made it. Naruto dispelled the frogs and gave everyone back their stuff. All the girls went into another clearing to change and came back. All the guys had change but Naruto. Sasuke said, what's wrong Dobi, too stupid to change your own cloths? Naruto said, no I just don't need to watch. And then he went through about 10 hand signs before saying, Ninpo, pervert no hotel, and all of his cloths blew out as wind blew all around Naruto and heat dried the cloths. Kurinai said, Naruto, if you knew a jutsu that could dry us off why did you not tell us? Naruto said, simple, if you don't use the exact amount of chakra during all 3 parts of it you either have all you cloths fly off of you, burn off, or get shredded by the wind. I did not think you would want to be if you messed up. Everyone nodded and Sasuke said, that's it Dobi, I demand to know who has been teaching you all these jutsu and giving you all this power. Naruto said, You say something, Sasuke. Sasuke started to attack Naruto but missed Naruto, who replaced himself with Sakura and caused Sasuke to accidentally kiss her. Sakura was in heaven for about 3 seconds. Sasuke got off her quickly and started gagging. He then said, "You are one nasty creature. I don't know how anyone can stand to do that." Hinata said, "Kakashi-sensei. I think Naruto-kun is right, he is gay." Naruto said, "Sasuke, how can you stand to kiss a woman and not even be affected?" Sasuke said, "Like I told you, Dobi, women should know their place. Have babies and always follow their husband's orders." Naruto, Hinata, Hiba, Shino and Kakashi all backed away from the massive killer intent coming from Kurenai. Kurenai said, "Sasuke, you think that is all women are good for and that women should know their place, right? Well, why don't you show me my place?" Sasuke smirked and charged Kurenai with a kunai. Kurenai dodged him and punched him in the ribs. Sasuke went to kick Kurenai in the head, who ducked. Kurenai then started doing hand seals and said, "Demonic illusion. Tree bind death," and she disappeared and reappeared behind him with a kunai at his neck. She then said, "If I was your enemy, you would be dead now. Looks like you are the one who needs to learn his place." As soon as Sasuke was released, he spun around and punched Kurenai. Naruto appeared in front of Sasuke and punched him in the gut with enough force to break a few ribs. Sasuke was on the ground panting when Naruto said, "I don't care if you are the last of the Uchiha, the Hokage of the village, or some drunk in a bar. If I ever see you treat a woman like that again unless she is an enemy and is attacking you, I will break every bone in your body. You used to the Leaf Village as only as long as you are a breading factory. If you do that again, I will end your ability to kill Itachi by cutting out those eyes and burn them. Do I make myself clear?" Sasuke, still panting, said nothing, and Kakashi, who helped Kurenai up, said, "Naruto, enough, let's get going." Everyone got back into a diamond formation around Tazan, Naruto and Hinata on the left, Sakura and Sasuke on the right, Hiba and Shino in the front, and Kakashi and Kurenai in the back with Tazana in the middle. They traveled for a while until Kiba, Naruto, Kurenai, and Kakashi all yelled, "Duck!" With Kakashi pulled down Sakura and Sasuke, Kurenai pulled Tazana, Naruto pulled Hinata down, and both Kiba and Shino got down on their own as a giant sword swung over their head and stuck into a tree. Naruto was prepared for Zabuza. Naruto stood up and took a defensive position. Suddenly there was some clapping from where the sword originally came from. Naruto looked at where the clapping came from and saw a face he had not seen in 9 years. The man in the tree was dressed in a Junin outfit and had a cloud headband on. Next to him was a man with a stone headband on. The man from Cloud said, "See what I told you? It is not hard to tell that he's the Yodaime's son." The man with a stone headband said, "Yes, you are right, I shall leave you know and inform the leader of Stone, Cloud, and Sound. You hold them off." And the man turned into stone and dissolved into the ground. All the genins were wondering what they were talking about. Naruto said, "Shit, Kakashi, what should we do?" Kakashi said, "Naruto, we have a mission complete. You recognize the guy from Cloud, right?" Naruto said, "Yeah, he was the one I stopped from kidnapping Hinata. I thought they killed him." Kurenai said, "Apparently not." Zabuza said, "Since it appears you have your own problems to deal with, why don't you hand over the old man and I will be on my way." Naruto said, "Keep you shoes on, Zabuza, and you stepson Haku up there. We will take care of you in a minute." Kakashi, "You want Mr. Cloud?" Before Kakashi could say anything, the Cloud Ninja said, "Stupid boy, don't worry. After I kill you, I will take the pretty little Hyuga and cut out those eyes." Naruto said, "Sorry Kakashi, time's up. I will take Cloud. I will try for alive, but you know how that goes. Kurenai, you mind watching over everyone?" Kurenai said, "No, go ahead, have fun." Naruto started hand signs and said, "Huicho's number jutsu." And 4 foxes appeared, each with 3 tails. One said, "What can we do for you, Lord Naruto?" Naruto said, "Protect everyone with a leaf headband and also the old man with the straw hat. Thier is one long-range fighter in the woods with the ice bloodline. Keep an eye out for him, and also a stone ninja who may or may not still be in the area." The foxes all yipped at that, and Naruto put his hands in a seal and said, "Release," and Naruto chakra started going up. Naruto then got into his Taijustu stance and closed his eyes before opening them and saying, Shirogen, and his eyes had changed to 4 rings with 2 commas around it. He then disappeared only to reappear beside the cloud ninja who was in a tree who jumped and tried to attack from above with an axe kick. Naruto used chakra to hold onto the tree and swung under the tree branch he was on only to come up on the other side with a kunai in hand to meet the cloud ninja's kunai. Kakashi saw Naruto start and said, Shall we Zabuza? And pulled up his eye patch to reveal his Sharingan and charged Zabuza. Sasuke saw the Sharingan and was thinking what the hell. Kurenai seeing both battles started said, Okay, all of you listen up. Kakashi and Naruto have their hands full right now, so I need all of you to take a defensive formation around Tazana. Hinata scan the area for the other 2 ninjas and see if you can find them. Shino sent out some of your bugs to help look for them but stay out of Naruto and Kakashi way. Sasuke, Kiba, Sakura pyramid formation around the client and no back talking. Leave the foxes alone. They are under Naruto's orders. Sakura said. Kurenai-sensei, what did those 2 ninja mean by son of Yodime when he was talking about Naruto? Kurenai said. I don't know Sakura, don't worry about it now and do your duty. Suddenly there was an explosion from where Naruto was fighting. And someone was flying into a tree near the group. Naruto landed by the group and was panting waiting on the cloud ninja to move. Naruto had blood running down his right arm and several cuts in his clothing. He also had blood running down his left leg but nothing else wrong besides sweating. Kurenai asked. Naruto, was that explosion? Naruto said. Exploding clone, but that is not what's got me nervous right now. Hinata asked. What is it, Naruto-kun? Naruto said. That ninja fought with not only cloud jutsus but leaf, stone and sound jutsu. Where's Kakashi? Naruto looked over to where Kakashi was fighting Zabuza only to see him trapped in a water prison. Naruto sighs and said, Kurenai, can you have someone tie him up and have Hinata Jiyuken his arms and a couple in his legs? Kurenai nods and Kiba starts tying the cloud ninja up. Naruto pulls out a triprong kunai and throws it at Zabuza. Zabuza sees it coming at him and catches it but realizes he just messed up when he see the boy who threw it smirk before disappearing in a yellow and red flash only to appear beside him delivering a massive punch to the stomach breaking 4 ribs. Zabuza goes flying off the water and into some trees. Kakashi falls into the water being freed from the prison. Naruto helps him up into the shore where Kakashi covers his eye to conserve what chakra he has left. Naruto starts slowly walking toward Zabuza only for several Senbons to stab Naruto knocking him out. Haku arrives and flees with Zabuza. Kakashi pulls the nettles out of Naruto and carries him back to the group onto to collapse himself. The group starts walking toward them when Naruto starts glowing with red chakra a little and wakes up after it's over. Hinata sighs and said, You overdid it, Aegean Naruto, huh? Naruto just shakes yes. Kurenai walks over and said, Can you travel or do you need help? Naruto said, Hinata, in my chest pocket is a scroll marked first aid. I need you to get me a soldier pill and I need the wound on my arm fixed with that healing jutsu you have been learning. I could heal it myself but with as low on chakra as I am I don't want to put too much pressure on my coil system right now. Hinata nods and after getting the soldier pill for Naruto and Kakashi she uses the minor medical justs to stop the bleeding. Naruto-kun, that's all I can do right now. Your muscles will be sore the rest of the day probably. Naruto stands up and Hinata gets on his left side and helps support him walk. Sasuke and Kiba carried Kakashi with everyone else following as they head to Tazana's house.